Are retailers trying to end the return policy? Retailers are facing a significant issue, not inflation, shrinkage, or self-checkout lines, but a problem with returns. Dr. Overstreet highlighted that out of approximately $5 trillion in retail sales last year, 14.5% were returned, amounting to a staggering $743 billion. In response, many retailers have started changing their return policies. For instance, 81% of retailers introduced pay-to-return policies in some form in 2023. Contessa Brewer-Croning noted that companies like Amazon and Macy's have added return fees or shortened the return window for online purchases. This tightening of return policies is largely due to return fraud, which is expected to account for 16.5% of holiday returns this year, equating to $24.5 billion. The rise of e-commerce has exacerbated the issue, as retailers have had to absorb costs related to postage, transit, and lost items. As a result, major retailers are making it tougher for fraudsters and reducing overall return costs. Before we continue the video, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, like button, comment below, and also share the video. Thanks for watching. A 2018 report by the Wall Street Journal highlighted a largely unspoken policy of big box retailers, tracking and profiling risky return behavior, even banning customers from making returns in the store based on their return score, despite these customers seemingly having done nothing wrong. But what is a return score? Who's keeping track? And what do they know about me? Simply put, a return score is like a credit score. It's comprised of a number of factors that tell retailers if you're abusing their return policy. The most prominent company in this field is the Retail Equation. According to its website, the Retail Equation collaborates with individual retailers to define what they consider potentially fraudulent behavior. The company's software then tracks customer behavior and assigns a score to customers who may display such behavior. Typically, the software monitors factors such as the frequency of specific transaction types, transaction values, and whether the customer has a receipt or purchase history at that retailer. In practice, this can encompass a range of activities. According to the Wall Street Journal, these activities might include making several returns in a short period, returning a large portion of a purchase, forgetting a receipt, returning an expensive item, returning frequently stolen items, or even making a return close to closing time. These actions can negatively impact a customer's return score, meaning that even shoppers adhering to a return policy might be penalized. Many customers might be unaware of their score or how it affects them. For some, this could result in warning at the return counter or an outright ban on making returns at a retailer. Eventually, this led to several class action lawsuits against the Retail Equation between 2020 and 2023, though these suits were eventually dismissed. Plaintiffs in these cases claim that the software often provided incorrect information and offered shoppers little recourse for accessing or correcting the data the Retail Equation collects. The lawsuits also allege that this data was supplied to the Retail Equation without the consumer's knowledge or consent. The issue is that these types of complaints are challenging to substantiate. Often, the relevant policies are hidden in the fine print of retailers' terms of service or return policies. It's not something you can opt out of, because if they decide to outsource their return logistics to a third party, by agreeing to the purchase, you're also implicitly agreeing to the third-party logistics provider for returns. According to a Wall Street Journal report, the Retail Equation worked with 34,000 stores. The 2021 class action lawsuit named several retailers as defendants, including Dick's Sporting Goods, Best Buy, and Advance Auto Parts. Other retailers like Home Depot and TJ Maxx have also been identified as past users of Retail Equation services. This brings us to a larger question. If retailers have been implementing these targeted policies for a while, might they now implement broad policy changes? With rising interest rates, retailers are thinking there's a piece of cost here that isn't necessary. Essentially, it is much more expensive to be a retailer now, meaning they must cut costs in historically costly areas to turn a profit. According to the Retail Equation's own data, the US retail industry lost over $101 billion to return fraud and abuse in 2023, not including the cost of legitimate returns. Most returns cost up to 40% of the original retail price to restock, and there's no guarantee they can resell the item at the original price, leading to losses on both ends. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is some Big Brother type bullcrap? Do you think they are doing this just to make more money? Or do you think these retailers should do everything they can to end fraud, including ending the return policy? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. And again, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, like button, comment below, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.